In 1993, a young mother vanished in Florida. No straged, no witnesses, no clear answers. Her name was Bonnie Lee Haim. For decades, her case sat quietly in police files, unsolved, unresolved, and almost forgotten. But time did not erase the truth. In 2019, more than 25 years later, investigators finally uncovered what happened inside a quiet Florida home and how a child witnessed a crime without fully understanding it. This is the story of Bonnie Haim, a disappearance, a hidden murder, and a truth that waited years to be spoken. This is Truth Trove Stories. Bonnie Lee Haim was born in 1968. She was described by family and friends as kind, gentle, and devoted to her son. By the early 1990s, Bonnie was living in Nassau County, Florida, near the town of Callahan, just north of Jacksonville. She was married to Michael Haim, a man who worked as an electrician. Together, they had a young son named Aaron Haim. On the outside, they looked like a normal family. But inside their home, the marriage was deeply troubled. Friends later described Michael as controlling and emotionally abusive. Bonnie had begun talking about leaving him. She wanted a safer life, especially for her child. And that decision may have sealed her fate. On January 6, 1993, Bonnie Haim disappeared. She was 24 years old. That morning, Bonnie was last seen at home with her husband and her son. There were no signs of a break-in, no signs of a struggle. Her car was still there. Her personal belongings were untouched. Michael Haim told police that Bonnie had left on her own. He claimed she was upset and simply walked away. But almost immediately, his story raised questions. Bonnie had no money, no packed bags, and no reason to leave her son behind. Still, without evidence of a crime, police had little to go on. Bonnie was officially listed as a missing person. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into years. And the case slowly went cold. From the very beginning, Bonnie's family suspected Michael Haim. But suspicion is not proof. Michael passed multiple interviews. No body was found. No forensic evidence was recovered. Eventually, Michael moved on with his life. He remarried. He raised Aaron. And he continued living in Florida. Bonnie's case faded into the background. But inside the Haim household, something strange was happening. Aaron, Bonnie's son, was growing up with memories that didn't fully make sense. Memories that would stay buried for years. As Aaron grew older, fragments of memory began resurfacing. He remembered being very young, sitting inside the house. He remembered loud arguing. And he remembered something disturbing: his father killing his mother. At the time, Aaron was too young to understand what he had seen. As a child, he assumed his mother would come back. But she never did. Years later, those memories became impossible to ignore. Aaron began asking questions. He contacted police. And for the first time in decades, Bonnie Haim's case reopened. In the late 2010s, detectives from the Nassau County Sheriff's Office revisited the case. They re-interviewed witnesses. They reviewed old files. And most importantly, they listened to Aaron. Aaron provided a chilling account. He stated that his father stabbed Bonnie to death during an argument. He said the murder happened inside the home. And then came the most disturbing detail of all. Michael Haim had buried Bonnie's body under a fire pit in their backyard. Police returned to the property. Ground-penetrating radar was used. And beneath the concrete fire pit, they found human remains. In 2019, forensic experts confirmed the remains belonged to Bonnie Haim. She had been murdered in 1993. For 26 years, her body had been hidden just feet from where her family lived. Michael Haim was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. The case that once seemed impossible to solve was finally closed. In court, prosecutors laid out the evidence. Aaron testified, facing the man who took his mother's life. Michael Haim was convicted. He received a life sentence. For Bonnie's family, justice had come, painfully late but undeniable. Aaron later spoke publicly about the burden he carried for years. A child forced to live with a secret he didn't understand. A truth that waited until he was strong enough to speak it. Bonnie Haim was 24 years old when her life was taken. She never got the future she dreamed of. She never got to watch her son grow up. But her story did not disappear. It waited for decades until the truth finally surfaced. This case proves something important. Justice does not expire. It can wait quietly until someone is brave enough to speak. This was the story of Bonnie Haim. Thank you for watching Truth Trove Stories.